Oh, now it's recording.
Now it's
okay.
recording.
Okay. Okay, so the sign-in sheet disappeared, so I take it that the sign-in sheet is making its way around.
I have not seen it yet.
Or I'm losing my mind.
Someone threw away the sign sheet.
It's right here. It disappeared because I never took it out of my notebook.
Goodness, it's going to be a long term.
Oh boy. I gotta drink more of that coffee. That's what I gotta do.
There is no spoon.
That's right. There is no sign sheet. Allergies have been killing me. I can't sleep. Something about all the pollen in my house or dust or something.
That might have to do with it. Apparently, this area has a lot of
Oh, it's killer.
allergies.
It's terrible. It's the worst place I've ever lived for allergies. Okay, so if you are here, hopefully you are here for Physics 223. I'm Lisa Taylor. I will be your instructor this term. This is the last of 3 physics classes, and most students think this is the best one because we finally get to all the cool modern physics stuff. So,
It's not because it's the last.
Do I have plans to blow things up? No. I don't have plans, but I suppose if you could give me a convincing argument for how we could integrate it into the course.
Give me time.
Okay, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to introduce this course to you, and then we'll get to our lecture, and hopefully we'll have time for lab. I'm not counting on it because of everything we have to get to before we can get to the lecture, so no stress if we don't get to the lab today. So me, I have a professional science master's in applied physics from Oregon State. This term I'm also teaching 222 on Fridays, and my new favorite thing right now is gravitational lensing. It's pretty awesome. So tell me who you are and what your major and program is and something interesting about yourself. I know, like you guys have heard this all before.
Start at this table.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Jordan Spangler. I'm in electrical engineering, and I'm not a student. Just like working on cars and racing, and and I'm married, so being a husband.
You go to PIR?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, welcome back, Jordan.
Thanks.
Okay, no.
I'm Jesse Templin, former glassblower, fellow survivor of Physics 222. I didn't want to say anything during the final, but I noticed on your list of constants there were a couple of early rounding errors.
Oh.
Different book. Those constants came from the old textbook we used to use, and
Called do well.
oh, it's really, honestly, not my doing. I'm gonna totally not claim responsibility for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with her.
But thanks, Jesse. Trying to stump the teacher. No, I always like that. So
Not even that.
no, I'm not. I know. I like it when you guys give me a hard time.
I'm Jacob Freeman. I took 222 last year, so this room is way different now. These got all these desks. They used to just have the regular desks. What happened?
They told me that I had to fit 24 people in a room with 18 chairs.
Ah,
So Richard and I got really creative.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm an EE major, and in my spare time, I build guitar pedals and work in a bike shop.
All right, welcome back, Jacob.
My name's not Jacob. I am Dylan. I took physics with you 222, I think 2 years ago. Hopefully I can remember some of it. I'm a little nervous, or most of it rather. My day job, I work as a software engineer for a remote file hosting company. In my spare time, I like to make electronic music and guitar pedals are really cool. So, yeah, and that's, oh, I'm a software engineering student, so that's about it.
Welcome back, Dylan.
Hello, my name is Christian Soto. I've been a software engineer for almost 15 years now, but I had to go back to school. I graduate this spring, hopefully, if I can pass this class in operating systems. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's see here. I've been banned from buying Legos. It's kind of been the go-to present for my kids, and I have my old ones, and we're up to about 80 pounds worth of them now. And my wife's like, I'm sick and tired of Legos being everywhere, so no more. I'm not sure if I would permanent ban, but I've got to come up with a clever way of storing these things.
Well, someday, if you ever have time, you could be a mentor for the Lego League, for First Lego League.
I did that, actually.
Oh, okay.
I did that and found out I cannot work with middle school students because they piss me off.
Oh, God.
So,
brings back bad memories.
They fought with each other.
Yeah.
They picked on each other, and nobody really wanted to pay attention. So I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be a teacher. So that took that one.
My name is Justin. I am an EE major as well. I'm not super interesting. I work a lot. I work 50 hours a week, or they want me to work 50 hours a week, and I test semiconductor equipment.
And I'm Andrew Summers. I'm a software engineering major student, and out of school I like to work on music, things like that.
Welcome back, Andrew, and Justin, and Christian.
My name is Mickey Cassidy. I got out of the Air Force not so long ago, and I'm representing the REE major. And while I'm not in school, I'm hiking, drinking beer, drinking coffee, on hiking ukulele. So that's me.
Nice.
In the back.
I'm Jerry Brown. I'm in the electrical engineering department. But I work as a tester for sound equipment, amplifiers, stuff like that.
I think there's enough people in here you guys could start a band.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm Brandon Rolston. I'm also an EE major, and I don't even know what I do anymore in my free time.
No free time?
Homework? I forget.
Yeah.
I play video games sometimes. Got that going for me.
All right. Welcome back, Brandon.
Engineering majors forget what it's like to have free time.
Yeah. My name's John. I'm in the REE and the SEM Systems Engineering Technology Management dual program. I'm returning to school. I guess this is my first full year back after about 6 with the RES program when it was the REE in its infancy. And I worked for a little bit part-time for a wind turbine power plant developer. I was working there full-time, but somehow it worked out a nice schedule. So I've taken the physics sequence a long time ago. I know that I didn't do too well in this section, and I'm afraid of taking the FE exam and totally bombing. So I'm hoping that this will help do decent preparation.
All right. Well, welcome, John. And Ian?
I'm Ian Sanford. I'm in software engineering. Don't have much free time, but I like to, I'm making a video game right now. Hope to get it on Google Play.
No big deal. Whatever.
Well, let us know. All right, so there's a whole lot less people here this term than there was last term. There's 14 of us, and if any of you know Sawani, who works at the front desk, he's the one I'm recording for. He's stuck in LA right now, trying to catch a flight. So we're here until 9:50 on Wednesday nights. My office hours are Mondays, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., either in this room or next door in my office. So I'm not doing Physics 107 this term, so I might be in my office since I don't anticipate a huge crowd, but if there is, we can always come over here. If you want tutoring, there's physics tutors available. Peer Consulting Center, this is the link. Our Blackboard, our website is Blackboard. Anyone in here never used Blackboard before? I think the only person I'd ask that to is John, because I haven't had you before.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't like it, but I'm familiar with it.
Well, I've got a lot of stuff on there, so as long as you know how to get there, that's the important part. So they gave me a new tool to use this term. I don't know why it wasn't part of my Blackboard websites before, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, let's see. Talking and typing a password is hard. Okay. So I'm dabbling with this assignments tab that we have on the left-hand side. It's new to me, maybe not to you, but I'm not really sure if I did it right. So your weekly online activities will be in the assignments tab. And so I put your first one here. There's 2 files because, you know, there's the docx version that you're going to open up and edit and stuff. But of course, if you're not opening it in Word, you might see things weirdly. So I included the PDF as well. So you can, if you see things look weird, you can open the PDF to see what it should look like. And you don't see this. This is only visible to me right now, but the instructor solutions will show up here after the deadline. And then it also shows up on the calendar because I made it an assignment. So this shows up on your calendar that this is due. So that's cool. But I have no idea if you're able to submit it online. I don't know how that part works. It doesn't. Yeah, that's.
It doesn't look right for that.
Okay,
Just let you know.
that's fine, that's fine. I wasn't sure. I'll update the syllabus. I added language like you can email it to me or submit it online. I didn't know if that was actually an option, but emailing is great. But you know, the fact that this shows up on your calendar is one more reminder that it's due. Hopefully that'll be good for people. So that's a little different. All the other course material for every week is going to be in your lecture folder. So for this week, you've got under lecture 1, the PowerPoint I'm doing right now, the worksheet that I printed off, the lab packet that we're starting today, and here's a docx version, so you can type in, you don't really need to type in your answers because the first lab is a full report, so that's silly, but whatever. Might be useful to have the .docx version, so there you go. Here's your homework. You guys won't see the solutions yet, so that all you see is the homework. After the homework is due, then the solutions will become available. You'll see those show up. So that's what you'll see in the Lecture 1 folder. And I've hidden all the other folders because I haven't gotten the content ready. So the only other folders you see are the midterm exam folder and the final exam folder, which have sample exams. So that's good stuff there. Under the general documents folder, here's a very important document, the lab report guidelines. Since your first lab is going to be your full lab report, you'll want to check out that document. There may be a pop quiz next week on it. So yeah. Okay, so the syllabus, that's also a tab over here, the syllabus. And I don't usually print this off, but since I get so many questions about things that are on my syllabus, I thought I'd actually print them so you have it.
You just updated so many times.
I know. Well, that's why I know I don't usually print it, but.
Well, I was looking at the one that's actually online there and everything blank for assignments, and I got really excited, and I figured that was a mistake.
Huh. Well, that shouldn't be a mistake. Let me make sure that it didn't get cut off.
Okay, maybe it's just the way it came through Blackboard on my tablet.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is the most important part of the syllabus. This shows the course schedule. And as Ian said, sometimes it has to be changed. Hopefully not. I fiddled with this all week. So I hope that this is how it's going to be this term. So this is important. It tells you what topics we're covering each week and what chapters in the book they'll be covering. what labs we're doing each week, and then what assignments are due each week. So that's really handy to keep really close by. A couple things on here that are new. Double star next to the chapter means that we're only covering selected topics, very selected topics from those chapters. So if you want to read the whole chapter, you're welcome to, but you probably aren't going to see most of it in class because we just don't have time. We are going to take a tour of the optics lab this term, which will be really awesome. I'm trying to hammer out what that's going to entail with Scott Prawl right now. Otherwise, we've got 4 labs. One of them is the full lab report, which is the first lab. The other 3 are fill-in packets. The little star next to homework 4 and homework 9 indicate that the solutions are posted before the homework is due so that you have them to study. When you turn those in, they'll be graded for completion, not based on accuracy, but you still have to turn it in to get credit. This is a shortened course from the day class by an hour and a half, and so ABET requirements require that we have to make up that hour and a half. So we have these weekly online activities. They're due every Sunday at 11:59 p.m. This is the schedule of those deadlines. So there's 9 of them this term. They kind of follow the lecture. And I explained to you already that those are going to be under the assignments tab here in Blackboard this term. I have 4 labs highlighted because Scott Prawl was saying he might be able to do an extra lab down in the optics lab, which would make it 5 labs. I'm not sure how formal that lab would be or not, so if it's something where we'll actually be collecting data and can analyze something meaningful, then I'll make it a 5th lab. Otherwise, I'll just call it a demo, and we can just go and have fun and not worry about turning something in. So that's the only thing that could change.
See, I was actually going to say thanks for not having the labs right towards the very end, because having
Right.
lab 4 last term on finals
was awful.
Was awful.
For everyone. I had to grade those and
I know,
finals.
But I was like, wait, we actually spent 2 weeks focusing on what we're trying to do,
Right.
not labs. So.
Right. Yeah, so it just depends on what Scott has in mind for us, but I'm happy if it's just like demo and appreciate the optics lab. So yeah, Justin?
Are the labs this term relatively small as far as data collection and so forth?
It depends on the lab. So
Do like within 2 weeks.
they're all 2-week labs. So they're not like 222, which had behemoth labs. And tangent. I'm in the process of rewriting some of the crappy 222 labs, and I'm taking your input. Email me your suggestions, because the hardest part is that I'm like limited by the complexity of the circuits I can teach you, but that also limits the interestingness of the labs. And so I'm toying with some ideas, trying to get Richard to buy me a bunch of solar car kits that we can play with. I really want to get rid of the series and parallel resistors lab. So if you can think of something that teaches those kinds of concepts in a more interesting way, I don't know. So email me if you have ideas. I'm trying to figure that out right now. So, but for this term, 223, back off my tangent. Our labs, let's see. The lab we're starting this week is definitely a 2-week lab. It shouldn't run over. The sound wave lab, if you guys are efficient, can probably be done in 1 week. The fluids lab is something I'm going to have to write new, and I don't plan on it being too long. The optics labs are kind of in flux right now based on what Scott has to offer, because we've got crappy equipment compared to him. So if he's going to replicate some of the experiments, then I might opt to do those experiments in his lab rather than do them in here. So those might change, but only for the better. Better equipment will be better for you guys when you're trying to analyze data. So less sources of error. Let's see if there's anything I'm forgetting. The midterm and final are 2.5 hours each. You're allowed 1 sheet of notes. I highly recommend that you start working on that early and use it while you're studying so that it becomes part of your sort of mental training exercise of solving problems. So it's an actual useful problem-solving tool and not something you just throw together at the last minute. Yeah. What else? Any other questions about the syllabus? There's a whole bunch of crap on here that you can read in your own time, the typical language. Okay. Homework, I grade 2 problems out of however many problems there are, so you won't know in advance which 2 problems I grade. And that's how your homework grades are determined, except for the weeks where it's based on completion. Because the homework solutions get posted the day after they're due, I can't accept late homework. And the same goes for the weekly online activities. I've pretty much covered all this stuff about labs. Course copying and plagiarizing will not be tolerated, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so any other questions about the syllabus? No? Okay. So my expectations while you're here, be respectful. We're discussing things and sharing our ideas and thoughts, and sometimes we're wrong, and that's okay. So we want to be respectful of people so that people feel willing to contribute to the conversation. Try to help keep the conversations on track. So try not to do the whole grandstanding thing or hijacking the conversation thing, because that's annoying for everyone. Accept responsibility. So it's your job to know when things are due, and save your excuses for real emergencies. So if you don't get stuff done, just accept it and move on. That's life. People do have real emergencies, so don't be surprised if your non-emergency doesn't garner much sympathy from me. Check your OIT email on a daily basis. This is my only way to contact you if I have an emergency, if I need to cancel class for some reason, so do that. Do or do not. There is no try. Yes, Justin.
I'm sorry. You know that ratio is set, right? There's only 6 speaks in absolute.
Oh.
Shut up. We're already off track. We haven't even started.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a Star Wars nerd. True Star Wars nerd. So.
You didn't Star Wars tattoo, Darth Vader.
Nice. Okay, those of you who've had me have seen this before. So basically this class is a lot of work. And so if you want to get an A, you got to do a lot of work. That's it. Okay, so what we're going to kind of bring with us from 221 to 222, mostly the math, really, mostly the math. Algebra, trig, calc, units, sig figs, scientific notation, and vectors. Really, that's most of it. Obviously, as we learned in 221, like everything starts out with learning the concept and the related forces, and then learning the related energies, and then the power. So that's really a constant for every topic we do. But really, there's not a whole lot of electricity and magnetism that we bring with us, almost none. So Jordan took 221 last term. He's dual enrolled in 222, and that's perfectly fine because you don't really need 222 to be in 223. Where we continue from in 223 is kind of where we stopped in 221, oddly enough. So we're covering wave dynamics, acoustics, optics, and modern physics this term. There's a bunch of refresher material. If you feel the need to refresh yourself, you can go through this on your own time. Vectors, sig figs, scientific notation. Okay, so that's the beginning spiel. Any questions about this course or things unrelated to the lecture? Okay, why don't we just stop the video and just so we have a nice break in the video before the